Yo, so picture this. It's the year 2020, man. The planet's popping with like 7.7 billion folks, and if we keep rolling this way, we might just double that by the end of the century. Humans? We've spread everywhere, dude. We've touched every corner of Earth and even taken baby steps off it. More than half the world's chilling in cities now, all built on crazy social systems and huge-ass bureaucracies just to keep the lights on. But here's the real kicker. All this civilization stuff, super new. Back in the Ice Age, around 20,000 years ago, there were maybe 2 million people total. That's like one mid-sized city today. Folks were straight up hunter-gatherers, wandering, hustling for food, moving with the seasons. No Wi-Fi, no Uber Eats, just survival. Then boom, people start settling down, growing crops, taming animals, setting up shop. Villages turn into towns. Towns morph into cities. Temples start popping up, elites rise, and before you know it, civilization is born. Bureaucrats show up, writing kicks in, and suddenly we've got receipts, taxes, and drama. And yo, that happened fast in human time. For like 250,000 years, humans were nomads, just rolling with nature. Then, bam, we settle down, plant seeds, and start playing Sim City for real. By 3000 BC, you've got full-blown civilizations sprouting up all over. Egypt, Mesopotamia, China, the Americas. Everyone getting their own flavor of society going. But what made us ditch the hunter-gatherer life? Was it Earth's crazy climate shifts forcing us to adapt? Or did we just get smart enough to realize, hey, farming's easier than chasing buffalo every day? Archaeologists are still debating that one, but we do know this. Civilization didn't just happen. It was a grind. Small steps, big ideas, and tons of trial and error. Farming popped up in 6 totally different spots across the globe. Like no one was copying homework. Southeast Asia was growing rice. Egypt had Nile farms. Folks in the Americas were working maize and beans. Each spot used what they had. That's human hustle. Then came the Fertile Crescent, where it all got wild. People started domesticating animals, settling down in permanent villages, and boom, cities like Babylon started rising. First real cities ever. Complex societies, trade, records, writing, all born right there. But to really understand how we got from caveman to city slicker, you gotta rewind to the Ice Age grind. Around 21,000 BC, Earth was cold as hell. Glaciers everywhere, sea levels lower than your GPA, and giant-ass mammoths roaming around. Humans were scattered but already creative, making tools, clothes, and even art. Cave paintings, carvings. That was the OG social media, man. Then things started warming up. The ice melted, and suddenly, boom, we're in business. People started experimenting, planting seeds, building huts, making rituals. It wasn't an overnight switch. It was more like a slow burn. Generations of humans tweaking the system until they nailed farming and city life. And that's where civilization kicks off. Not from kings or gods, but from regular folks grinding, adapting, and building something bigger than themselves. So when you look around today, skyscrapers, tech, money, chaos, remember it all started with a bunch of Ice Age hustlers just trying to make dinner. Life lesson for viewers. Don't take your world for granted. Every comfort you've got, cities, food, stability, was built over thousands of years of trial and struggle. Humans didn't evolve by sitting still. They adapted, learned, and built. So if life's got you stuck, remember, growth comes from grind. The year's 2020, and Earth's packing about 7.7 billion people. Yeah, that's billion with a B. And guess what? That number could double by the end of the century. Humans have now spread across every freaking corner of the planet, mapped out the whole joint, and even started peeking out into space. Over half the world's folks now live in cities or massive urban zones. Crazy social ladders, endless red tape, and we still got to farm just to keep the lights on. But here's the wild part. In the big timeline of history, this whole civilized life is a brand new thing. Roll back the clock 20,000 years. The Ice Age was in full swing, and the whole planet only had like 2 million humans tops. That's less than 0.1% of today's crowd. People were still rolling as hunter-gatherers. Small tribes moving around, chasing herds, living off berries and whatever they could catch. Then out of nowhere, boom, population explosion. People started settling down, farming crops and raising animals. Villages turned into towns. Towns turned into cities. Temples popped up. And soon we had elites running the show. That's how civilization kicked off. Over just a few thousand years, humans went from wanderers to city builders. They built monuments, formed governments, invented writing, and started keeping records. Wild, right? Considering we'd been nomads for hundreds of thousands of years before that. So what made people stop wandering and start planning? Was it climate change after the Ice Age? Maybe survival instincts forced us to get creative. Or maybe something in our brains just clicked. Either way, that's when we started getting real organized. By around 3000 BC, you had civilizations popping up all over. Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, South America. People started farming different stuff depending on where they were. In China, it was rice and millet. In Egypt, they had herds of cattle and sheep. In the Americas, it was beans, squash, and maize. Thing is, farming didn't just happen overnight. It was a slow grind. Folks experimenting for thousands of years, trying out new ways to control the land, the plants, and the animals. They didn't even realize they were inventing the future. Then came the big leagues, permanent settlements, cities, trade, writing, and government. That's when civilization, as we know it, really showed up. But to truly understand where we came from, we got to rewind even more. Back to the Ice Age, when humans were toughing it out in freezing temps, living in caves, wearing animal hides, and making tools out of bones and flint. Even then, they weren't just surviving, they were creating. Paintings on cave walls, carvings of animals, jewelry from bones and shells. You can see the spark of imagination that would eventually build cities and empires. As the glaciers started melting, climates changed, and so did we. We began staying longer in one spot, planting seeds, domesticating animals. And bam! That's how the first farmers rolled out. So yeah, civilization didn't just happen. It was a grind of trial and error, hustle and survival over thousands of years. And that's the origin story of us, the long road from stone tools to city lights. This is LifeDecode, breaking down the human journey one chapter at a time. Follow us at LifeDecodeofficials for more deep dives into the story of us.